Manchester United are growing increasingly confident of securing Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba in the summer window. The Red Devils plan to restructure their midfield and hire a permanent head coach at the end of the season. United are unlikely to reinforce their squad in the January window under interim gaffer Michael Carrick, who will be in the dugout for the club's final 17 games of the campaign. Before Ineos arrived, United chose not to bring in any signings when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Ralf Rangnick held caretaker titles in the 2019 and 2022 winter windows. But, according to well-placed sources, United are becoming more optimistic about prizing Baliba away from the Amex in the summer. The 22-year-old central midfielder is tied to Brighton until 2028, but his stock has dropped since United's interest surfaced last year. Baliba has been subbed off at halftime on 7 occasions this season, including 4 times by Brighton manager Fabian Herzler and 3 times with his national team. The Seagulls knocked down United's inquiry last summer, and Deputy Chairman Paul Barber has recently insisted there are no immediate plans to sell Baliba. Baliba was valued at £80 million to £100 million in August 2025, and United did not put forward an official bid, having already spent over £200 million on Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, and Benjamin Sesko. He is another example of Brighton's impressive scouting system, signed as a replacement for British record transfer Moises Caicedo, who, in turn, took the place of Yves Bissouma after a big money move to Tottenham. This is a tried-and-tested formula for Brighton, as they've lost key players in the past, such as Alexis Mac Allister to Liverpool, only for others to step up and fill in. United are prepared to bring in more than one midfielder in the summer, with 3 other Prem stars shortlisted. The 31-year-old admitted recently he was hurt by the knowledge United were willing to sell him, and said he felt senior officials lacked the courage to go through with it. Fernandes met one of Ruben Amorim's coaches, Carlos Fernandes, in the wake of Amorim's sacking last week, heightening fears for some that the Portugal star might be looking for an exit route. Casemiro, who turns 34 in February, is out of contract at the end of the season, and it remains probable that he will be released. Academy graduate Kobbie Mainoo and former PSG star Manuel Ugarte also face uncertain futures. Casemiro and Ugarte are the only 2 central midfielders that United have bought in the past 7 years. Club chiefs Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox clashed with former head coach Amorim over transfers before he was dismissed on January 5. Carrick, who was axed by Middlesbrough last July, is now tasked with securing Champions League football during his brief stint in charge. Baliba has returned to Brighton after Cameroon were knocked out of AFCON after a quarter-final defeat to Egypt, meaning Mbeumo is available for the Manchester Derby. According to The Sun, Manchester United are increasingly confident they can land Carlos Baleba in the summer as plans gather pace for a significant rebuild at Old Trafford. With the season entering its decisive phase, senior figures at the club believe the groundwork is already being laid for a reshaped midfield ahead of the 2026-27 campaign. The 22-year-old has emerged as one of the most consistent performers at Brighton, where his energy, ball winning, and ability to drive play forward have caught the eye across the Premier League. United see Baliba as a long-term solution in central areas, capable of bringing intensity and balance to a midfield that has often struggled for control. United's confidence is underpinned by their wider strategic reset, which includes the appointment of a permanent head coach at the end of the season. While no formal bid is expected until the summer window, Baliba is understood to be high on the club's shortlist as they look to refresh the spine of the squad. Manchester United are growing increasingly confident of finally securing Brighton midfielder Carlos Baleba as part of a major summer overhaul. Despite a quiet January expected under newly appointed boss Michael Carrick, club chiefs are already plotting a massive midfield restructure for the next permanent manager, with the Cameroonian ace identified as a top priority to replace outgoing stars at Old Trafford. Stock fluctuations and the Brighton model. Baliba remains one of the most highly rated prospects in the Premier League, viewed as yet another success story of Brighton's enviable scouting network. Signed as the heir to Moises Caicedo, who himself replaced Yves Bissouma, Baliba fits the tried-and-tested formula that has seen the South Coast club consistently replace big-money departures with fresh talent. However, Brighton are notoriously tough negotiators. Deputy Chairman Paul Barber recently insisted there are no immediate plans to sell the midfielder, and the club knocked back United's initial inquiry last summer. Yet, the history of Alexis Mac Allister moving to Liverpool and Caicedo to Chelsea suggests that every player has a price, and United are banking on their ability to finally meet it. You can get all the breaking news and best analysis sent straight to your phone by clicking here to subscribe.